Hey everyone, I'm Heather Thomas, one of four hosts of Conversations with Cosmic Souls. We are all feeling very cosmic today, especially me, because I'm coming to you live or whenever you listen to this from my closet portal where it all started for me in my awakening journey. I am joined by Kara Busacker. Do I get a round of applause for that? I don't know. And Kara Gilsonen and Amy Kilstrom. We are coming to you the day after May 5th, the 5/5 portal. And really, what are we doing opening up portals everywhere all the time? Shouldn't we be more responsible about all these portals we're opening?
Yeah, it's a little energetic.
It's like we're just done with the portals. It's like, are there portal closing ceremonies? Can we just close
let's
them?
create one.
Yeah, but we're done. We're done with the portals. We can't handle any more awakening this year. Let's just integrate. Let's just integrate the rest of the year.
Close off all the wormholes and then have a celebration.
Yeah, I think we're on New Earth. This looks good enough to me.
Sometimes the integration feels like the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be easy, and then I'm like, this doesn't feel easy.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just kind of coming to you when we can because we have no set schedule for recording this podcast, which actually makes it very, however you want to look at it. We just call it just making it happen, making the magic happen.
Well, and Heather's frozen now.
What's that?
You froze up at least on my end for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know what you said.
It was right at the tagline. Like,
oh no. Do you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe I was too deep in my portal. I have no idea.
I love the spiritual closet that you're
you see
in.
I see all the it's really it's a hot mess in here.
If you guys can see this on YouTube, you gotta check out.
Well, you know what? You know what? People can see it on Spotify too. Did y'all notice that?
Oh, really?
Yes. If you swipe the screen left, I think
one of those ways,
you can see the video. And I tried to screenshot it, but I didn't screenshot. It was just a black screen. So that's about as techie as I get. I'm like, I give up. It's too hard for me.
Actually, I think this is the first time I've seen your closet, Heather.
Oh, great.
Because you've been coming live to me from your portal since I've known you, which is it's almost been a year.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I just envisioned you in the closet. Now I get to see it.
Yay. I know this was where the effort threshold really happened for me. Like the whole meditation thing happened here. This is where I keep my crystals. This is where I first did my Instagram. My first Instagram video where I was in my closet, and this is ground zero. It really is. Am I coming through?
Yep.
You
ground control to Major Tom.
Yep.
Oh, so I don't know. Where do y'all want to go?
Well, we spoke was it last Friday or Thursday?
Yeah,
and it was right before the solar eclipse, Kara's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just all gosh, that seems like so long ago too.
It does.
We're recovering.
This past week was no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you also are all going through a detox too. So it's
there's that too. Yes. There's that too.
Oh.
Which I think it's really been it's so interesting, like how much my energy has shifted just from not eating sugar for over a week now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like pretty different.
Well, it's very grounding, when you take control of your health and you take control of your body, and it's really a spiritual cleanse, because when you clear out your body, you
just it's 333. Just okay, continue.
Hey. See, spiritual cleanse. yeah, it's really, it's cleaning up the body, and you can access those higher frequencies, and no matter what comes your way, because there's always storms in life, but like you said, Kara, like you just can handle it a little differently. Like you feel a shift.
Well, I feel like I said this to you. I think I said this to all of you, that I can actually feel and visualize the ways energy is moving through my body way cleaner. Like it doesn't, like before it felt kind of gunked up, and now it's like I can just, it's hard to explain, but you all know, like I can feel the energy, like it's moving faster and cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. No.
Yeah.
But the real question is, how is the pooping? Because that's really what we want to know.
Right.
There's shit storms of life, and then there's the ones that
I mean,
happen daily.
My pooping's been pretty good, but
yeah, you've been on point, girl. You've been doing pretty good.
I think I'm eating way more vegetables than I ever have in a long time, and
Me too.
It's moving through.
Well, yeah, I mean those veggies, especially the green leafy vegetables, are going through like little brooms, just sweeping, the inside and just pushing toxins out, because you're giving your body all the things it needs, but more importantly, you're subtracting the things it does not need, and it does not need a battle with this inflammation and the energy steals that it needs to take from elsewhere, just to try to create energy in your body to heal. So you've got the good coming in, you don't have any bad coming in, and your body is just working that much more efficiently. And that's, I always say, poop, it tells a story, So celebrating you all because you're doing good.
Yeah, it's been good. It was really hard at first. And somebody said this to me, maybe you said this, Amy. The first like 2, 3, maybe in like 4 days, I felt like a heroin addict.
Yes.
I was like,
yes.
I want sugar so bad.
Yeah, I forget who it was.
It's harder than like being on drugs.
Yeah. They have equated it to sugar is as addictive as cocaine.
Wow.
And people do not realize how damaging sugar is for your body. And I'm talking the refined sugars, and it's in everything, which is the class that we just held. It's got sneaky names. There's new sneaky names coming up all the time. And not until you're educated on it do you realize, wow, everything I eat has sugar in it. And there's this disheartening phase. But then when you realize, like a lot of people feel like, oh, I just need to subtract the alcohol because there's a lot of sugar in that. And we've seen time and time again, when people subtract the sugar from their food, from their daily food that they're eating daily, and they can have a cocktail, they're actually still okay, even though there's sugar in that cocktail. I'm not saying everybody should drink. I'm just saying that's how powerful it is,
yeah,
the amount of sugar that's in our food.
Yeah, it was just like, just going grocery shopping and looking at everything. And you're like, whoa. I like came to this realization. I'm like, we are being we always talk about the programming. I'm like, this is how they, quotation marks, whoever they are programming us.
Yeah.
Big time. It's funny. I just was talking to my son about this today. I literally said like the same things. I'm like, sugar is just as addictive, if not more so than cocaine, and all these things. But and my kids, like, it blows my mind. Like, I have to detach because they get it. Not only do they not think twice about like drinking a giant glass of juice or whatever, but they get it everywhere they go. They get it at school. They get it from the grandparents. That, if my parents will take the kids to church and they get it there, and it's like they get it everywhere they go. And I'm always a Scrooge about it because I'm like, oh, do you have to get them ice cream when you go to the beach, or like, do you have to? So it's been I like 10 years ago when my kids were little, I wanted to be that parent that like, I didn't want my kids to have like any sugar, and that just wasn't going to fly in the kind of life that I live, with the people that we're surrounded by, because I had like their grandparents being like, feeling like I was taking away their like joy in life of giving my children sugar. But yeah, and I get it. It's like a societal thing. It's a cultural thing. But when you really think about it, like you're saying, like the programming and what they're doing, like they're getting our children addicted to the substance that is literally destroying their bodies. It's like, well, wait, who's the one that's hurting who?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all education, right? I grew up, my dad, he's a retired dentist, but I grew up, we had no sugar in our house growing up, just strictly because he was a dentist. And I remember going over to sleepovers, or I'd go see my grandparents, and oh my God, I became a sugarholic. And I would get so sick because my stomach, my body wasn't used to it. And it literally, like, I didn't realize, being little, but I'd say it was a hangover. I felt sick, just terrible. So I learned, I guess, at a young age not to really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the programming's pretty heavy with it. So I guess I'm your deprogramming nutritionist.
Well, the
That's my new
programming is
title.
because it's like sugar is in almost everything, but not only that, it's like the amount of chemicals and crap that is in everything. And then
And the real sugar used to taste it tastes less sweet than the sugar today, because there's, like you said, there's more chemicals, there's more additives in it. So we're getting more and more used to this sweeter taste. And we want it.
Mm-hmm.
Amy, do you know anything about, my son was saying that there's the companies, they do these studies to find the perfect combination of the sugar, fat, and salt, I think he said, to make people really addicted to something. And he said that there's like natural ways you can do that, and he wanted to learn more about that. Do you know anything about that? Because I was like, I don't know if that's true.
Natural ways for what? To find out?
I guess to like make a food with the right combinations of things, but using all natural ingredients, I think is what he meant.
Yeah, I mean, so he likes to cook, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, as opposed to just going to buy, like, what's it called, Domino sugar, any kind of refined white sugar, if you're going to use a sugar, use a raw sugar. You can use, I mean, monk fruit's pretty sweet for me, but that's a more natural sugar. If you can cook with honey, you can cook with maple syrup. The unrefined salts, they're loaded in the minerals that your body needs. Do not get the table salts. Do not get the ones that have been stripped of the minerals. Those are the ones that hurt you. So just using those natural ingredients, your body knows what to do with them, and it'll taste sweet and fine. It's just, we're so programmed. We got to go get the white sugar,
I've always used coconut sugar. And when my kids started baking, they were like, that tastes disgusting. And I'm like, I think it tastes the same.
I think it tastes the same too, but that's part of that programming, because they get used to stuff tasting so sweet that it's hard to get used to coconut sugar. My husband's the same way,
When you talk about programming too, like even like the I feel like the media, like the shows that they watch, there'll be like these cartoons that are like, ew, vegetables, gross. Like I had my electrolyte drink in my water bottle, and my son was like, oh, can I have a drink of that? What is it? And I said, oh, it's my electrolyte drink. He goes, ugh, gross. And I'm like, you guys are just like allergic to anything that's good for you.
Yeah. And it's socially approved, right?
Yeah.
It's socially approved to say yuck to that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's
so
a
we talk
matter
about
of
the programming.
like being conscious or unconscious. And it's the same thing. We talk about people who want to wake up and don't want to wake up. And it's not that you look for the boogeyman around every corner and you can go down the rabbit holes of, they and them have been orchestrating all this. And I'm sure there's a they and a them. And there are people who know exactly how to manipulate us from the 3D level and the 5D level, as far as knowing how the matrix works. And it's really hard to wake up when it comes to your body and what you've been doing and what you've allowed, because we're responsible for all of it. I'm working on my slides for my program on Sunday, and I'm really getting into manifestation and trying to dissect it for myself to be able to explain it to the group, and it really is just, it all goes back to our soul purpose. Our soul purpose is literally to wake up within the dream and be a light in this grid in order to help other people wake up who are ready to wake up, like, period. But how we do that is so nuanced, like an individual starflake, yet we're a part of the whole. We are a individual wave, a part of the oneness of an ocean, yet we have specific skill sets and psychic gifts and these things. And we've talked a lot about that this week, that we're still wondering or claiming ownership of, or just acknowledging that I'm a badass, I'm a total badass. And I need to resonate at that frequency in order to really, really do what I came here to do. And that's to become more and more conscious, more present in the moment, and to help other people do the same. And I think food and our body and really waking up to that is for me a huge effort threshold. I have to acknowledge and be responsible for how unconscious I've been when it comes to food and body. I've got lightning going on in the background.
It's about to
so if
hit
you
us
hear it,
Yeah,
lightning and thunder, which means I'm right. Chad's saying yes.
It also goes to like movement, like everything that all four of us do, it's all part of, it's not just nutrition. It's not just movement. It's not just the healing of the soul. Like it's all these combinations of things of being conscious in the moment and taking notice in your life. And it's just, and when people are ready for it, the doors just open.
And the food part, it really manifesting, the power and the magic of manifesting is the power of the thought and the word and then the action, right? So you have a thought, the idea, and then you have words that come from that thought that has the power, whether it's spoken or in your mind. And then you take some sort of action. So food and really looking at really your whole life, right? Moment by moment, acknowledgement and awareness of these thoughts and words, these emotions is conscious living. And so this detox is really being conscious of, and I love how you use the wording, I choose, not I can't have that. I'm choosing to not eat that and have this instead, or however, you've been phrasing it. And really being conscious of the thoughts and the emotions that are coming through when it comes to what I'm holding this highest vision of myself, what I want, that intention that we set, right? That's manifestation. You set this intention for a detox or for anything. And you watch the thoughts and the emotions that come through, and you try to calibrate, change, shape shift, or whatever to that highest version, frequency, thought of yourself and that intention. And that's a lot of work. But I can only hope, and I've seen it happen in my life, that it does get easier. But then it's okay too to dip back and forth. You're going to have, but that dip is a gift because it's telling you, hey, you're dipping out of this highest frequency vision of yourself. That's okay. You're human. But it's that little, like jolt. Okay, I've dipped down. It's time to tune back into this highest vision frequency of myself. And really all of its manifestation and consciousness are one and the same thing. So I don't know, I was working on those slides today, and I've known all this, or, I've listened to Abraham Hicks for years and all the things, but I'm like, oh, okay. And having this detox has really brought it home for me.
I think I was talking to Kara before I think you guys got on about this week and even into this month, but currently right now, I think even today, we're in the season of Taurus, and it's so fitting that this is what we're all talking about, like taking care of our bodies, taking care of like what's actually physically real. And, because I feel like I've spiritually been on a journey for a while, but it was all kind of like up in my head, or it wasn't like tangible. So the fact that, and I know, Amy, you were like, should I have started the restart program on the solar eclipse? But actually, I see this week as it being like so fitting because we're in a Taurus season, which is all about how you're resourcing yourself. How are you resourcing your body? How are you like getting the right things that are actually going to help you in the long run? That and it's really cool. So there's Uranus is conjunct. Uranus is in Taurus and the sun is in Taurus, and Uranus is the planet of disruption, of change, of like coming in and being like, nope, we have to, this no longer works. And I'm like, of course, this is, I'm like, of course, because this is really how I felt all week. It's like, I've disrupted all the patterns that I was doing before and I'm changing it. Like there's
You're
no
taking action.
Yeah. I'm like, there's
Mhm.
major changes happening
Mhm.
that like in the past, I've always tried to eat healthy and, done this and that, but this is like, no, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Like, this is the big fork in the road change, at least
It's
for
an
me.
awareness. It's a
Mhm.
huge awareness.
It's
And it's
huge
the
awareness.
practice for progress, right? Not practice for perfection. We're not looking at perfection here. We're
No.
just like what Heather was saying, like even if you dip a little, it's like there's something you've learned there. That's gold, right? And it's the progress.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think just also energetically, I don't know how everyone's feeling, beyond what the four of us have gone through this week, but there is major, major shifts that what I was feeling is that with all this Taurus energy, you can no longer hide from things. It is coming out. It's in your face. A lot of people I know around me are getting sick. A lot of actual things are happening, whereas before, and maybe it was like, the eclipse portal like jumped it off, started it all, but it's like, oh, things are happening. We for the longest time we were like, oh, maybe you'll feel this, or maybe this is just like an idea or a feeling. Now it's like, nope, here it is. You will see it. It'll happen. It physically in front of you. And I'm like, yeah, bam, here you go. And I'm like, okay. So there's something that happened for me this week where I'm like, this is on. Like, this is no longer like, oh, Kara's just talking about all this weird spiritual journey stuff, ascension, expansion. I'm like, just watch. It's gonna happen.
Boom.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's been intense, but it's also like confirming. We talk about like these small validations or confirmations that make us not feel crazy.
Yeah, I've been hearing that too I've been experiencing it myself and from you guys, but also just other people and some people that aren't even really on the awakening path, but like seeing these like synchronicities and like kind of, the universe's messages coming through. So I think that's kicking up a notch too. I think as the intensity grows of the realization of it becoming more physical and like in your face, it's nice that the universe can meet us there and be like, and we'll give you signs, you're doing okay, keep going, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mentioned it to y'all earlier, but and I keep feeling this like, oh, this is it. This is the threshold. But like, I feel the bifurcation really strongly between the old story, the old earth, and the new story, the new earth. Because if everything is expanding and awakening around us in direct proportion to our awakening, which is what I've said a million freaking times, but I forget. So I got to remind myself again. Then it would make sense that I'm feeling me really stepping into the new story that, like, I could just hear the celebration, I think, of our spirit guides and everyone who was like, yes, she's doing it. This is what we scripted. But there's this choice, right? There are perfectly happy, I guess, people, and it would be great maybe to go back in the matrix and be asleep again, but I think we have fully committed to this awakening journey, like what you're saying, Kara, is we are living in the new story. So are we living possibly in the new earth that we keep hearing about? Because there's not that there was a going back, but I am committed, and I have now the experiences and the what is it, the confidence, the wisdom that I've come in with, but also the wisdom that I've gained, and the collaboration with you and our other sisters and other awakened souls along the way. And I'm like, we're stepping into the new earth. And maybe it just doesn't look exactly how we thought it was going to look when we thought, all right, here we are, this is the new earth. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be a process. It's like, it's kind of like when we say, like, when time's going so fast, and it's like every day I almost feel like a new person. It's that it's every day, it's a little shift, a little shift. So from our day to day, we might not think it looks that different, but if we were to step back, it's like, oh, we are in the new earth, and it does feel different, and it does actually look different. It's just that we're so close to it that we're maybe not noticing. But just to what you were saying, like that, I can speak to like what I went, like on my birthday, it was like this beautiful, great day. And then this week I just kind of like nosedived a little bit and went back into, I didn't go back in my old stories, but it's just, you feel the energy, right? That same energy, the core wounds that come up, but you move, every time you move through them a little differently, and it might still feel heavy or painful or difficult to move through it. But there's this level of confidence of knowing that it's all going to be fine, and you're going to move through it. And it's just a process.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ding,
so
ding,
it's
ding.
like,
we've shown ourselves, oh, I know what this looks like. Again, I'm just experiencing this in a different way, which is what our soul came to do, to experience all this. But I love that. It gives us that trust, that faith, that hope. May has a hope to it that I wasn't feeling, definitely wasn't feeling back in January. Yeah.
No, I think you were spot on when you were saying, like, there's something, this even happened to me last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was kind of anxious, and I could just sense there was energy moving through me. And it's so interesting if I look back on 6 months or even a year ago of how I would have reacted to kind of this feeling. I just kept telling myself, like, I know to trust like my my higher self or guides or whatever. Cause I'm like, you will move through this. You will be okay. It's all just right now. You just have to like breathe and be here right now. And in a couple hours, this will move through. And I just feel like that way of talking to myself, or if it is my guides or, what it is, that it's so different than like even months ago. I'm like, how do you do this?
Well, what's amazing too, what you just illustrated, is also why we're here, why we came, because I think we're sending out a frequency at this moment right now, whoever listens to this or watches this, that will hopefully reassure other people that you will move through it. You will move through it. But you have to show yourself that it is possible, but you have to choose consciousness. And that's hard, but it will get easier. You will move through it, and you just, we're here to tell you that it's going to be okay.
I did that over the weekend for my birthday. I went out with a group of people, and I found out that I got pretty closely exposed to COVID. And I had this experience of like, for a moment, like, I do not want to get that again. I don't want to be back there. And I was really able to tune into my energy. And this is what I mean about like experiencing things differently. I paused and I could recognize like the fear energy in my body. And I couldn't move it. I couldn't move it right away. And I acknowledged that. I'm like, okay, I can't, because I realized the way I was thinking about it, I'm essentially going to manifest it. If I keep worrying and thinking and obsessing over it, I'm just going to attract it right to me, and I'm going to come down with it. So I was able to tune into where I am at on my belief scale. And what I was able to do was, instead of just believing that, there was no chance that I would get it, I started to focus on, well, you know what? I actually believe that when we get sick, it helps to purge lower vibrational energy anyways. So if I get sick, I'm meant to get sick. What if I just trust that however this plays out, that it's exactly what needs to happen for my next evolution, my next stepping into my next highest version of myself. And that I was able to sink into, even though it meant that I might potentially get sick again. And I really didn't want to, but I really was able to sink into that like faith and trust in the universe. And anytime that we can do that, I feel like in those moments, we are incredibly powerful. And I'm happy to say that I did not come down with COVID. So again.
Again.
But that is really where it's at, Kara, because you faced, it's even like what I did last night. I didn't shove it away and say, okay, what is this? If it was anxiety or fear or whatever was going on, I was like, I witnessed you. I accept you for what you are right now. I may not move you fastly through my body, but I'm not scared. And I know it's going to be different. There was a fear. There was something about the fear that, like really embracing and accepting the fear, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're choosing love. You're choosing love over fear.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it's our highest power.
Yeah. Which is easier said than done, but it is. We have two choices. That's all we have. We choose fear or love. And Marianne Williamson, her, Return to Love book, I'm sure a lot of people who are listening may have read it, but that's basically what it is. We come in with those two contrasts. That's what God source created, were those two contrasts for God to experience itself. And then there's just all these derivatives of fear and all these derivatives of love, but that's what it comes down to. And it's as simple and as hard as that. I hear Georgie.
I often see it through the lens of fear being separation from source and love being connection to source. Or if to source is too convoluted for what you're looking at, am I looking at a situation and seeing myself as separate, a victim in lack, or am I seeing myself as potentially connected, one and the same? And how do we bridge that gap that my human's experiencing in this moment?
Which is what you did with, when you were worried about if I'm going to get sick or not. That's exactly what you did. You turned to the frequency of abundance and trust, which are just the same frequencies as love. Yeah. I mean, we've got this all figured out, so
it's still really easy to forget in the moment though.
It's so easy. Like, damn, we're wise. Damn, just remind me of that. But that's what I mean about, will you remind me of all this? Yeah.
But that's what I mean about like experiencing things differently. Like I might not have been able to do that a week ago,
Yeah.
I really do feel like, and just like we're saying, like there's more shifting of moving into the 5D or the new earth or whatever than I think we're consciously aware of.
I think maybe exactly. Maybe we didn't get there in a spaceship like I was hoping, or maybe we did. Maybe we did, and they just, I don't know.
But I also get the sense, like some of us, I feel like are prepping like the vibrational landscape. So there could be spaceships to come, Heather. Like, let's not, rule that out. Maybe we're going to bring everybody else with us in spaceships. I don't know.
They're in our dreams.
Thank you. I'm going to manifest the hell out of that. That's my highest vision of myself. Flying in the spaceship.
I just want to get on that spaceship.
I know.
So bad.
So bad.
And I hope I'm there with you.
You will be.
And then I can be,
because I'm going to manifest it.
We made
it. Yeah. Oh man. So, well, this was just a quick check-in-ish.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, we went around the world and back again. We're old Earth, new Earth, where we've got the whole globe covered in this episode. So we are just like you on this journey, spiritual beings or souls, whatever. What are we? We're souls.
We're souls and
all of the above.
We're spiritual.
Aliens.
Yeah, exactly. I know, we are the aliens we've been waiting for. Like seriously. I mean, we call ourselves star seeds, and then we're wondering where are the aliens? Well,
I think that's
We
it.
are.
I think we're it, you
Yeah, that's
know,
just
like
another
what
name for
perfect
it.
way to infiltrate the matrix, you know, let's put these aliens in the human bodies and, you know, become like viruses. And we just, you know,
I actually thought
Good
about this.
viruses.
I thought about this the other day. I remember having
we're
vivid-
happy viruses, happy love viruses.
yes.
Yeah.
I remember having vivid thoughts when I was a kid, and this just came up the other day. I hadn't thought about this in years, but I remember as a kid thinking, I'm not from Earth. I'm not from here. Like looking up into the stars and space and being like, that seems more normal to me than this.
Yes. Yes.
So there we go.
Yes. That's probably our comfort zone.
Mhm.
But I really think, you know, we've talked about this as well. Like we're all on this journey coming home to ourselves.
Yep.
This is home. We're home, you know, and I think looking for home out there everywhere and other people or whatever, we're home, but now we're here for a mission. You know, we're here to bring other people home to themselves.
Yeah.
Well, and to lead the way of showing people how
Yes.
we all need to come home to ourselves.
Mhm. Yeah.
All of us.
Yes.
It's such.
In every moment.
Yep. Yep.
Every food choice at a time, right, Amy? Yes. Well, we are going to wrap things up here, but we appreciate you taking the time, your energetic currency to tune in, and we are just excited to talk to you about whatever comes to mind for next time, whatever comes to mind and soul. If you have any topics or questions for us, we have our contact information in the show notes, along with our contact information. We all specialize in different spiritual gifts. So if you're curious about what those are, please check us out, and we'd be happy to be a guide for you on this awakening ascension process, because it is no joke. Yeah, it is. It can get really hard. So,
but we're all in
yes.
it. We're all in it together. And that's the beauty of it all.
That's the
And that
point.
makes it easier. It
That's
does make
right.
it flow
That's
a little
right.
better.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Until
All right.
next time. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.